One of the first things that we're going to cover in lesson 4 is the use of cases of nouns and a few things that we can do with prepositions. So, one thing that you need to know about Greek nouns is that they change their form to show what they're doing in a sentence. So, if a noun is being the subject of a sentence, it goes into the nominative case. The nominative case is also used for what we'll call a predicate noun. That is to say, the noun that's linked to a subject by a linking verb like the verb to be. So let's look at a couple of examples. Okay, the horse eats the grass. So the horse here, horse is a noun, and the horse is the subject of the verb eats. Here's another sentence. The horse is an animal. So the horse is the subject. And then is here is a linking verb. And so animal here is a predicate noun. So in Greek, both the horse and the animal would go into the nominative case. Okay, so horse in this first sentence would be in the nominative because it's the subject. Horse in the second sentence would be in the nominative because it's the subject. And animal here would also be in the nominative case because it's a predicate noun. You can kind of think of linking verbs as sort of an equal sign, and they want to have the same case on both sides. The accusative case in Greek is used for direct objects. So if we go back to our previous sentence, the grass here is a direct object. Horse is the subject. Grass is the direct object of the verb eats. Here's another sentence. I love the horse. I is the subject and would go in the nominative case. Horse is the direct object and would go in the accusative case. Another thing that often happens with the accusative is that it's used to indicate a destination, a goal, an extent of time or space. So in this example, you walk into the marketplace would go into the accusative in this sentence. So, but most important for now is direct object and some prepositions, as we'll see, that indicate a destination or goal. The genitive case is used for one noun that's being used to modify another noun. Really often in English, we do this with of. So let's look at an example. The gods of the Athenians are vengeful. So the gods, that's the subject. Are is a linking verb, and vengeful then would be the predicate noun. So gods and vengeful would be in the nominative case. But of the Athenians, right, that tells us more about the gods. So in Greek, we would do this with just one word, Athenians in the genitive case, and it would show us that the Athenians are telling us more about the gods. The genitive is also used for nouns that show a source or a point of origin. So if you remember, the accusative case was for towards. The genitive case is kind of for away from, right? A point of origin. So the man walks out of the marketplace. Marketplace would end up in the genitive in Greek. But most important, things that are often translated into English with of, the genitive takes one noun and makes it modify another noun. The dative case. The dative case is used for a noun that's being used not as a subject, that would be nominative, not as the direct object, that would be accusative, but it's in there. It has some relationship to the action of the verb. One really common way the dative case is used is to express indirect objects. So let's look at an example of that. I, there's your subject, that goes in the nominative. Send the horse, that's your direct object, that would go in the accusative. to the girl. She's an indirect object. Okay, so she would go in the dative in Greek. We're also going to see that the dative is used to indicate means, accompaniment, location, time, a bunch of other things. So the shop is in the marketplace. Marketplace would go in the dative. So accusative for toward, genitive for away from, dative for at a place or at a time. Which brings us to prepositions. In lesson 4, we learned 3 prepositions. Prepositions in Greek take a particular case of the noun. So the preposition ek or x before a vowel means out of. And as you might expect, it takes a genitive. Okay, so ek or x plus the genitive, because as we said, the genitive is the case for away from. The preposition n, in, right, takes the dative because the dative is for place where and time when. So I am in the marketplace. Marketplace is going to go in the dative. So n takes the dative. The preposition ace, into or to, as you might expect, takes an accusative noun, right? Because the accusative is the case for direct objects, but also for motion toward. Okay, so when you learn a preposition in Greek, you need to learn what it means, but you also need to learn what case of the noun it takes. And that's it.